Here's what I know is true. Most weight loss plans are one size fits all. So frustrating. They don't take into account each person's individual needs, which could mean dietary restrictions, medical issues, or other personal needs. That's why you're going to love Noom. It's built for your psychology and your biology, meeting you where you are. Noom's personalized programs feel more sustainable than any other, more restrictive weight loss programs. And also, it doesn't shame you when you choose to treat yourself, and that's important. I like this company because it's got a psychology and biology-based approach and a super easy app to use with lots of great features, including daily lessons, coaching, and flexibility. I think it's your time to start. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit Noom.com for more information.
Don't miss Good American Family.
We have a little girl here for adoption.
She has dwarfism.
Starring Ellen Pompeo and Mark Duplass.
Something is off.
She's just a little girl. You think she's faking?
She has adult teeth. There are signs of puberty.
Inspired by the shocking stories that tore a family apart.
I don't know what's going on.
How old are you?
You should get a lawyer.
You have no idea how those people hurt this girl.
The Hulu original series, Good American Family, premieres March 19th, streaming on Hulu.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with Kate Casey, and I have a great episode for you. But first, I think I've uncovered something, and I need to share it with you. The actor Jason Isaacs plays the father in the third season of White Lotus on HBO. It's a great show. I know a lot of you love it as well. The actors that play the Southern family in the series, which include Parker Posey, Jason Isaacs, and Patrick Schwarzenegger, have said that Mike White, the creator, encouraged them to watch the show Southern Charm on Bravo to get a feel for the characters. Now, Jason has said in recent interviews, and I'm talking like just a few days ago, that the family that they're playing is from Durham, North Carolina, not Charleston. And thus the accent is a North Carolina drawl. Now, from the beginning, I thought there's got to be a little inspiration from somewhere else, something familiar to me because I watch absolutely everything and I'm a complete weirdo about accents. And then I figured it out. He's playing Michael Peterson from The Staircase, and here's why. Well, if you're unfamiliar, Michael Peterson is the subject of The Staircase, which is a documentary and also a series about the novelist and military veteran convicted of murdering his wife, Kathleen. On December 9th, 2001, Michael found Kathleen unresponsive at the bottom of his stairs in their Durham, North Carolina home. Prosecutors argued that Michael beat Kathleen to death with a blunt instrument. His defense argued that Kathleen had fallen down the stairs. He was convicted of her murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. This case has been the subject of several documentaries, including a French documentary miniseries called The Staircase and an HBO miniseries of the same name. I want you to look up the picture of Michael Peterson so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, another very important thing to note, and yes, I do feel like I've cracked the Da Vinci Code, is the following. As reported by Newsweek, Elizabeth Ratliff and her husband, George Ratliff, were very close friends of Michael Peterson and his first wife, Patricia, when they lived in Germany in the 1980s. Remember, I told you he was a vet? Patricia Peterson and Elizabeth Ratliff had worked together at an elementary school on a U.S. air base and lived close by with their families in this small town. So George Ratliff died in a military operation in 1983, and 2 years later, Elizabeth, who was 43, was found dead by her children's nanny at the bottom of her staircase on November 25th, 1985. The last person believed to see her alive was Michael Peterson, the night before when the families had dinner together in her home. So Elizabeth Ratliff was found dead at the bottom of her staircase in an eerily similar way to the way Michael Peterson's wife, Kathleen Peterson, was also found. At the time of Elizabeth's death, which was investigated by the U.S. military police in Germany, and an autopsy concluded that she had died from an intracerebral hemorrhage. In April of 2003, a second autopsy was carried out by a Durham medical examiner who had concluded that her cause of death was homicide. The medical examiner found Kathleen Peterson and Elizabeth Ratliff suffered similar blows to the head, including 7 lacerations which were sustained by blunt force trauma. In her report, Dr. Deborah Radish concluded that Elizabeth Ratliff's injuries were inconsistent with a fall down a set of stairs. So 2 women, same way, both died, last seen by Michael Peterson. Elizabeth's sudden death in November of 1985 became of great significance in this case against Michael Peterson during his trial for the murder of Kathleen. So much so that Elizabeth's body was exhumed and the second post-mortem carried out by the Durham medical examiner. The defense would go on to use her death as part of their case against Michael Peterson, which also led to tensions with the family. Important to note, he adopted Martha and Margaret Ratliff, who, by the way, look remarkably like Michael Peterson. This is why it's important to note this case. He looks like Michael Peterson. He has the same accent. Jason Isaac's character in White Lotus is Timothy Ratliff. I'm just saying, tell me if you think I'm right. Okay. Also, today's episode is a review of episodes 10 through 12 of Love is Blind. Now, we're gearing up for the weddings, and Chris and I could not be happier. Please note at the end of this episode, we have a favor to ask of you. We want you to be involved in our next Love is Blind episode. And lastly, I watched the second episode of The Baldwins for everyone because I know most of you were watching the Oscars and also probably don't care. This is what I can report. Alec is still miserable. They live with a horse farm at the back of their property. Now, remember when there were all those pictures of them feeding horses when her Spanish-speaking scandal was exposed? Absolutely, those pictures were set up by her because there is no one that could get on that property without permission. Oh, also, they are absolutely setting up the oldest child to be an influencer / YouTube star. I will say that the kids are very sweet with the baby of the family. But most importantly, there is a painting of Ilaria over the fireplace of their living room. This show is centered around her. This family is centered around her. Her life is centered around her. It's wild. So if you've been watching Love is Blind, if you haven't been watching Love is Blind, you will enjoy this most hilarious episode with Chris DeRosa. Chris, last night was Oscar night. Were you pumped for it?
I sure was. Duh. Come on, Kate. It's like the biggest night of my life every year.
I was excited too, but I never watched any of the movies. Did you watch the movies?
I watched some of the movies. I usually try to watch a lot more, but I've been busy. But I watched a lot of them. Okay. I watched obviously Wicked, duh. I watched Anora, which I loved. I'm so glad that it won so much because I thought it was an incredible movie.
Okay, you need to tell us what it's about because I'm watching and I'm like, I don't even know what this movie is about.
This girl, that Mikey Madison, when I tell you, she is this girl, she lives in Brighton Beach, which is like out there in Long Island near Coney Island. It's like OG New York, Long Island shit. And she is a stripper at a strip club in her area. And this Russian, like, twerp loser heir to, like, God knows what Russian business comes in and is like, we're here from Russia. Like, I'm ready to party it up. And he's like, we kept calling him Timothy Chalamet because he's like a little, if Timothy Chalamet had like a brother that he like sucked all of his essence out of and then just that was the scraps. You know what I mean? Like, that's like what this little man looks like. But he's like loaded. And so he has like black cards. So he's like, I'm in love with you. You know, they then have sex, you know, they hook up. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, I love you. I want to marry you. They go to Vegas and get married. They're like, she like, the other girls at the strip club are like, ooh, like, you're like, what the fuck? Like this, and that. And she's like, bye, I'm going to go live in my mansion now. Like, see you later. And she's like riding high until some large men in a truck come and they're like, your parents are going to kill you, you little like Russian heir man. And then she's like, fuck. And then they have to like, it's Kate, it's so good.
Wow. Okay. And this was an independent movie that they made with $6 million.
Her performance alone is incredible. Like incredible. The movie is so good. I love the whole thing. It's one of those movies where they're always yelling at each other. So it's like the tension is high the whole way through.
Wow.
But
okay.
It's so good. I loved it.
I'm glad that she won then.
Yes. And a lot of people were like, it was Demi Moore. It's Demi Moore. And I'm like, have you seen Anora? And not one of them has said yes. So I was like,
there you go.
And like, P.S. I loved The Substance. Like, loved it. I thought it was great. I thought she did amazing. I thought Margaret Qualley did amazing. I loved everything about it. I loved the music. I loved I thought The Substance was great. I think Demi did great. But Mikey deserved to win it. She did.
That's good because I think a lot of people may have thought, oh, they split the votes like Demi and Cynthia, and then it may have given room for somebody else to win.
I mean, sure, but like that's
the way it is, man.
That's democracy, baby. Like, you know what I mean? That's what we have left of it. You know what I mean? That's
right.
What can we do? Like it wasn't like an undeserved win. She did an incredible
that's what's
job.
Most important.
If it was like some random ass whatever, and I was like, what? Like, but she did incredible, and she carries the whole movie.
I just love that all those people were staying on stage, and you knew that they were paid in like waffles and
like nothing, like pennies. Yeah.
Well, that's good too.
It shot really well. It shot really well. It's really cool. It has the A24 vibe without being an A24 movie. It's very like cool and like hip and like new age, like cinephile kind of like vibe, but not pretentious or annoying.
Okay.
And again, she's just this girl with this Brooklyn accent that I could walk down the street and throw a rock and hit like 16 of her. And I was like, oh, she's not like, where is she from? What? Like, she's not. I thought for sure they plucked this girl out of obscurity at that real strip club and was like, you're going to be a star because she does such a good job.
Wow. High praise. We have more important things to talk about because there were additional episodes of Love is Blind, and the people who have been staying the course and watching the show are so fired up. And I have said from the beginning, it's a slow burn. And we're finally really getting to the good stuff.
Well, we're back. We're right to where we wanted to be as these episodes.
Exactly. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is Lauren and Dave. Now, Dave.
What a first thing to talk about.
I know. Your hate for him is so deep, and I feel like I join you on that train.
Because of his own doing, like PS, like I want to really just like do a blanket of like, we talk a lot about like, oh, I hate this person's a monster and this person's this. And we have a lot of opinions and we're like, oh, this person sucks and like blah, blah, whatever. And like at the end of the day, it's like, they're fine. Like, what does it matter? This that he's doing to her on camera is diabolical. Like, and we say that, we throw that word around and we say monster and we say this person's this and this person's that. When he watches this back, he is going to be absolutely mortified.
I would hope so. I thought about that.
If he comes to the reunion and does not be like, I am a piece of garbage. Like if he does, like, I'm serious. Because there's a time, like I'm starting to get to this place where I'm like, why am I so fired up about like these random people? Like this is just like adding hate to the world. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, there's parts of me where I'm like, okay, I need to like not pretend like this like is the biggest thing in the whole world because it's not. But he is one that still is there for me where I was like, in every way you are wrong about this. And I can't wait for you to tell me that at the reunion because it is the truth.
So it begins with Lauren back in the apartment. She's been alone because Dave shut off his phone and didn't come home after a fight that they had the previous evening. Now, he does not return the next day until 2 p.m. And he has a very confusing story about going out with his friends to a place called Nolo's, in which there apparently were other people.
I can't with the like name checking of the places, by the way.
Of course, I wanted to look up what it looked like.
No, we're on a plane there right today. Yeah.
I'm like, do they have an appetizer deal?
Because you and I are sick. That's why. Yeah.
So they're back at the place, and when he goes through his story, and it's not adding up, and then she's like, I'm sorry, where were you again? Nolo's? Did you believe his story?
I mean, yes, because later Molly does verify that he was there.
I know, but when he was telling the story, I was like, I think he found Molly and they had sweet sex. Did you think that too?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I thought, okay, he is excited to go. Like he's running into other cast members and he's like, where's Molly? Lauren and I kind of have this quasi breakup. I'm free to go. Meanwhile, Lauren's back at the homestead and she's crying her face off. Dave is a coward. Dave has a personality where he doesn't know how to break up with people. Molly even notes it later. She says, you admitted to it in the pods. You don't know how to break up with somebody.
When she said that was like the first thing she said whenever she, P.S. I remember when I was like, that one, the redheaded one, like, I don't know about her. I loved her. I love her now. I remember when I was like, antennas up on her. She was being a mean girl. Like, she's our girl now. Her clothing she really needs a makeover, but regardless of that blue, like baby girl, what the hell was that like corset top that she wore with that sweater, like falling off her, like Kim Kardashian at the Met Gala.
I bet she comes back for the reunion.
It looks incredible. Yes. And like paid a stylist and we can tell. Yeah. I pray for her because her clothing is so terrible. Anyway, when she clocked him. And the first thing she says after she finds out, I mean, we'll go through the whole like her finding out on camera that they're not together anymore. I didn't know. And then she sees him and she's like, the first thing you said to me was that you push people away and that's what you're doing to her. And I was like, that's it right there. I dropped my, like, I went to go take notes and I was like, I don't need to take notes. No, I like dropped my pencil. I was like, nope, we're done. I was like, that was it. I was like, we're done here, moving right along.
You did like a whole lap around the TV because you're like,
I was like,
she did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
She did. That was it right there. And then we're watching it in real time. And the girl that was going to be with him says it right to his face.
But also, did it make you think back to all the nonsense he said about the friends and they're all disgusted and the sister doesn't want to be on the show and the dad? I don't think maybe half the people that he knows even know he's on a television show at that point in the game.
Well, and
it's all make believe. I don't think any of them really care about who he's dating and what their backstory is at all. I think he saw her and maybe thought she is not going to live up to the Botox needs that I have. And I need to figure out a way for her to break it up with me so I don't have to do it myself.
No, I can't be like, you're too plain Jane for me. And I'm looking for like Virginia. He wanted to be with Virginia, basically.
He wants to be with a girl who like perhaps has a career in like a Star Search pageant modeling. But
sure.
Lauren is beyond beautiful. So he's just an idiot.
Well, and then Molly even says it to him. Remember, she's like, that's my girl. She's like, what did she say when at the end? I was like, this girl's like really changing my mind. And when she went, she said, Lauren's my number one, is what she said.
Yeah.
And walked away from him. I was like, slam. Like there's a respect part about it that they did. Like, I like that Molly was like, wait, let's sit down. And she was like, okay, Lauren, like, first of all, like, thank you for talking with me. I'm really sorry. Like, kind of was like, hey, like wanting to like garner like trust with her. And then when Lauren like spills her guts there, because she's like, you understand this because you talked to him and we're like liking him. And then whenever Molly was like, no, like fuck that, like you're great, better than this, like fuck him, blah blah. I was like, yes, love this, like girl power. Like I was so into those scenes. They were so good. And it was just I was very into them. And I loved that Molly then was like, oh, let me go talk to him. And then like eviscerated him.
Eviscerated him.
I
mean, did he go into the bathroom?
He didn't say one thing. He didn't say one thing. Like he was like, yeah, And she was like, and then this, and then this. And I was like, get him. And this is the thing. If my partner was like, please let me speak to your family members, even if it's off camera. Because remember, eventually he was like, and then your dad said this like mean thing about my sister. And like, that's fucked up. And I'm like, enough. Like,
enough with this.
If you want these people to do this, go do it. You're like not letting her see them or talk to them. And again, she said like, oh, I wrote him a letter. What was it? It was like, I wrote his sister a letter and he didn't give it to her.
Well, he didn't want to give it to her because his sister would be like, I don't get this. Like, what is
She'd
this
be like,
about?
what? Huh?
Huh? I think you were right from the beginning. I think she has absolutely no idea and doesn't even like him that much. She's probably like, why'd you involve me?
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, even to go see her off camera, like, why can't that happen?
Why can't
Do you know
that
what I
happen?
mean? But he has to like bar his family. Like, it's infuriating that she kept saying like, again, in 4 different scenes over the course of this time and last time, she's like, why can't I speak to any one of your, like, why is my relationship being litigated without me and you're not on my side?
It's gross. He also, like I said, he is a coward. He can't even say the words, I don't want to be together or we should go
I can't do this anymore. She just like got up from that weird like auditorium that they were in for no reason. Right. That like movie viewing room. It was like a theater that was like, speaking of the Oscars, they were like in red velvet chairs. And then they were like, she like had to get up and like do a whole lap around the whole thing so that like, she like couldn't get out from the way that she went. Like it was so sad. Remember when I was like, I'm not going to be mean.
I'm telling you, I cannot wait to find out what his family thought about this abhorrent performance. Especially after he met her mom. And God bless. I just think it's a people-pleasing family. But the mom's like, okay, yeah. You could tell she was like a great teammate to her daughter. Like, I'm just gonna, be there for you and support you. But I mean, she probably went home and talked to that dad and was like, I don't know who this loser is that met with Lauren, but she better snap out of it.
Well, and he was like, you weren't with her. You weren't with him. 2 days before you left. And she's like, not 2 days before I left. A week before I left was the last time I saw him. And he's
Gross.
like, what does it even matter? And I'm like, no, that is the whole point.
That actually does matter, you weirdo. Yep.
You're saying the day before, and she's saying, no, it was 8 days before, 7 days before. Like, that's actually the point of this, is that like the facts are not correct, but you're like holding them over her head like they are.
Okay, one other thing about him is so gross.
I hate him.
I hate him too. He was stressing about that previous quasi-relationship she had before they went onto the show and relating that to his family's hesitancy to meet her. And he said, they don't just meet anyone. I don't want to waste her time. Like, what a dig to somebody. Like, you're also, so beneath their time.
Yeah, yes. And don't go on this show when you know that like episode 7, 8, 9 is
That's
like
part of the package, dude.
It's like what us going to your family's home and sitting like there's only 8 other seasons or 7 other seasons of this show where this is exactly what they do every single time. So if your family members aren't on board with you, and again, as we said last week, I'm like, I don't want to see the storyline of like my family doesn't want to be on camera. Like, get that out of my face. Don't go to any parents. Go see a friend. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, I just want to not know that the parents weren't on board. Yeah. I want them to say, my parents aren't going to be here because they don't want to be on camera, and then just move along with our lives.
Totally fine. Get it.
Then just do it off camera. Yeah. Then just do it off camera, and then just talk to. Then let's find out in a scene like what happened. Did they like him? Did they not like him? Did he like them? Did they not like? Just, I don't want to do this whole, like, they're pressuring the family. It's then all becoming about the show. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, I want it to be about the relationships of the people, not like, they're like terrified of the producers of the show. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's like not what I want the show to be.
Let's face it, weight loss can feel overwhelming. That's why Hers is changing the game. By providing access to GLP-1 medications plus expert care, they make your goals more achievable. Hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to affordable weight loss treatment plans delivered straight to your door if prescribed. Hers offers a holistic weight loss program with personalized solutions, including compounded GLP-1 weekly injections, featuring the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy or oral medication kits. So after submitting an online intake form, a licensed medical provider will determine what plan is best for you. And if prescribed, your program includes medication, ongoing care, and online support, and all at one cost. So if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey, it's time for you to find the best option that works for you through Hers. Start your initial free online visit today at forhers.com/KateCasey. That's forhers.com/KateCasey for your personalized weight loss treatment options. forhers.com/KateCasey. Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased. I love the look of luxury, but knowing that I got it at a great price. And I feel like you're like me too. And that's why I know you're going to love Quince. Quince is my go-to for luxury essentials at affordable prices. I get DMs all the time. Where did you get that sweater? I'm telling you, I got it at Quince. You know why? They offer high quality items at prices within reach. And the best part, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. So they do this by partnering directly with top factories. So Quince cuts the cost of the middleman and then passes the savings on to us. And the best part, it only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. And who doesn't love that? In fact, the thing you need to get right now are the toasted almond silk pajamas. It's a beautiful gift for someone in your life or just for yourself. So give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/KateCasey for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/KateCasey to get your free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/KateCasey. Can you imagine, like, you meet your relative and the person that they've just met through this social experiment, and you're like, nice to meet you. And they're like, by the way, the wedding's next week. And you're like, and can you come and be on camera? That's probably pretty trippy.
Yeah, I would be like, no, what?
No, I would be like, sure, I'll be there front row.
Like the average person would be like, why are you doing, like, not be on board? Like, why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, no,
You know what I
that's
mean?
kind of, I think I've realized this is a new dream of mine, is for a distant relative to ask if I would be willing to meet with the people that they met in the pod and then show up for the TV wedding. Because I would do that.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, this is my cousin Kate. And I'm like, yeah. We got a big whole history.
You're that like
history
girl.
together.
You're that like girl that was like what's his name's friends. That was like the one girl was like, he dropped me home when I was drunk. That's you.
That's it.
You're like, yeah.
All right. So Dave, loser, coward, Lauren, gorgeous hair face. She's going to be fine, I think. I cannot wait for that reunion. So there was no lead up to a wedding because they broke up, which is good. They should not be together.
Yeah.
After that, there was a tubing meetup, as one would do in Minnesota. And so several couples were brought together. And as they were flying down the hill,
also, like the bachelor and bachelorette parties and stuff, I feel like back in the day, we used to get like a lot of good scene work out of those.
Yeah, there was like nothing.
Nothing happened at all.
Well, I hate to tell the people what the concept for this the women's party is, that they all dressed up as like old women. Whose dumb idea was that?
I thought that was funny. Is that bad?
I was like, why? What?
I thought it was funny. I thought it was so stupid. It was really stupid, but I thought it was funny. Like, I just liked seeing them in their old lady outfits. But like, I want them to then be like, oh my God, did you hear about Lauren and what's his name? Like, I need to hear, like, that's what we need. Hello. I don't need to, this is the other part, is like, that's what we want. Like, when we were seeing like my girl Madison coming in with pink hair, and then Mason and Meg like holding hands coming in, and then little Harry Jowsey twerp coming in, like all them like coming in, that was us. Like, my adrenaline's pumping, like I'm ready to go. I don't need to see, it doesn't need to be The Bachelor in the sense of like, and this is like my wedding and my dreams are coming true. Like, I know once we've got like all these events, and you notice that they like really whittled down the like dress trying on.
I was just going to say that a lot of the stuff that they let go of.
Thank you. I was like, thank you, because I don't need to see the like
Vanessa Lachey's like,
is it this dress or this dress? Yeah, like shut up. Yeah,
say
don't
yes
care.
To the dress. We don't care.
I want it. It's now about the drama of the people in the pots. Like, that is the show. That's what the show should be, in my opinion.
Always.
All of the stuff of like, oh, and then there's like, you know, then we're gonna see if like the tubing thing. It's like, no, that should be like them tubing. And then like we, like a housewife scene, we see them go down the thing 3 times and laugh, and it's really fun. And then they sit down at a bench and then they're like, so like, what happened with Lauren and Dave? What did you hear? What did you hear? Well, I was at that bar, and then blah, blah. That's what I need from this show moving forward. Not like, we're all here and just like ready for marriage. Like, no. You know, it'd be
good too if they invited.
Am I wrong?
If they invited somebody in their friend group. Oh, I brought along Mary because Mary said she saw Dave last week and he was with so and so.
Yes, some of the pod squad, as they say.
Pod squad.
You know what I mean? Like, I need more of the like reunion. Like, but I also need more than just them in that one like weird ski bar that they were at whenever they all got together. I need like some other people to come to tubing. And again, like the bachelor party, like Dave should be at the bachelor party, but like, and be like, guys, like, oh, brother, you know what I mean? And then tell that. But I guess they're trying to pack it all into that one scene so they can get like a lot of beats out of it. But like, Dave should be at the Vikings training camp, or that's
why didn't they include him?
And he should be like, what happened? As they're like kicking those field goals, you know what I mean? Which again,
I wonder
that was
if those other dudes don't
fun.
like him. Maybe he's not a bro with them. Maybe they kind of like, he bugged.
I know, but like, I don't care. I need him there.
But you need him there, yeah. What do you think about Mason and Meg together? And every time I look at him, I think about you saying that he probably has really strong arms because of the camera work.
He does. Well, what do we want? I mean, like, sure, that's fine. But then if they're like together, can't we like throw them on the? But I guess they're not engaged. But can't we like see it?
Don't you think that's an opportunity missed? That if Mason and Meg are together and they're all at the tubing place, don't you think some producer needed to go over and go, listen, I know you guys just got together, but you have been through this process. We had a whole setup ready for Lauren and Dave. I got Neil Lane in a truck out back, and he's got 3 different rings. Do you guys want to get engaged?
I don't even need like engagement. Yeah, I mean, like, yes, what you're saying, yes, they should do, and be like, don't you want to just do it? Do you know what I mean? But I think the thing that they can't, that then rewards them for like not getting engaged in the pod and then like
okay.
doing a backdoor
Sets a bad
deal with it.
precedence.
So
Sure.
it sets a bad precedent because then no one will get engaged and then they'll all want to date each other once they see each other. And that's clearly not the point of the show. And like we do love whenever they first see each other for the first time. So it's like it's rewarding bad behavior and that. And not that it's bad behavior, but you're like rewarding them not continuing the experience. Does that make sense?
It does. I
However,
totally get it.
Selfishly, again, I want to see them dating on the show. I don't need like 75 scenes of like everyone's parents. I need like them dating.
What do you think about Alex and Madison reuniting and her saying that Alex essentially saw a picture of her on social media, reached out to her and he was like, I'm an idiot. Let's spend a night together in LA. Begged, if you will.
Begged her, yeah.
For them to be together for the night. Do you believe it? And I say that because I've watched a lot of social media clips where it makes it seem like he's a real creeper. The way that she framed it is more like, not so much like a hot night of sex, but like, I made a mistake, we should be together. And based on what I'm hearing now, I don't think that.
I think he took one look at her and was like, you're the most beautiful girl that I could ever get ever, because I look like a popcorn shrimp version of Harry Jowsey. And so what on earth did I just do? You're like gorgeous. And so he was like, please, 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 can we please just see each other? So I believe her. I believe her story.
So throw out all the stuff he said in the pod about, I just feel like you will be avoidant, blah, blah, blah. And then he sees her and he's like, let's just do game on in the hotel room. But
yeah, 100%, 1,000,000%.
But there's no sense of like, we should be getting together in a romantic relationship, right?
No, I think he was trying to be like, we should just like see,
let's
like what in theory Mason and Meg said to each other was like, should we just like go on a date? I think that's what he was like, let's like just talk in person as people.
The ego on some of them, like the way she was framing it, I'm like, oh, this is like cringy. Like, he looked at one look at me and he was like, I cannot believe what I'm at. I would feel such cringed, like hearing someone say that, let alone saying it myself.
But here's what I'm going to say. And I was right about this last season and I'm right about it this season.
Okay.
I reward and I like so much better when people show me all of their sides to themselves. Madison was like, here's me being like distant and like emotional. Here's me being like this like sex freak, you know what I mean, with Mason when she's saying she has pierced nipples, blah, blah, blah. Like she's like doing the good, the bad, and the ugly and showing us all of it. And one thing that she said that I really liked is whenever she was like, okay, Alex, like, what do you actually think of Mason? And he was like, fuck Mason. And she's like, well, that I really found as a bad sign because that was like his boy in the pods and he like liked him so much and that was his boy. And then whenever we got out of the whole, like once the producers weren't there, he was like talking shit about him. And she was like, I don't like that. You didn't say that when all the cameras were there. Like, you weren't real about that then. So like, what else are you lying about? That I fucking like. And you know who else did that too?
I still feel like she's a manipulator.
Sure. But she shows us that she's a manipulator.
Okay.
She shows us that she does all this stuff. She shows us that she's one person to one person and one person to someone else. She shows us all that stuff. All these other people, including your boy last season, was like, I'm this way and I'm this and I'm that. And then got fucking railed at the reunion. Fucking annihilated at the reunion.
What do you think she's going to be like at the reunion?
To tail annihilated. Alex is going down.
You think?
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I don't like. Whenever it's like, oh, I'm just this like poor little something like me. And then the minute the cameras are gone, they're talking shit. Yeah. I've seen it a million times.
You've seen it.
I've dealt with it a million times. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, well then let's talk about that on camera. And they're like, oh my God, no, I could never do that.
Yeah.
No, oh my God. And I'm like, well, you're saying it right now. So clearly you feel that way.
Eek.
That's that shit that I really don't like. And she caught him and Madison's my girl. I don't care. Yes, she's a manipulator. Sure. She's horrible. She's a monster. Whatever. Don't care. Say whatever you want. She showed us who she was, good, bad, and ugly. Alex and Mason were both like, oh, like, no, like, and then the minute that they get out of the pods, and then not for nothing, Meg, even when she told the story of like, that Alex told her that Meg was like DMing him already.
Yeah,
it was like, hey, should we get together? And I was like,
yikes.
Little Miss Alien conspiracy theory.
Yeah. I think she was also like, I cannot believe none of these dudes didn't want me because I'm so cute. Like what?
Yes.
Like,
Which she is. She's perfectly beautiful. Like she was like really pretty, like blah, blah. But again, like, yeah. Oh God, it was so good. It was so good. And I felt so good because I always have this sixth sense about that shit. And I say it every fucking time. I'm like, no, I like this person. And everyone's like, this person's a monster. And I was like, yes, but at least they're showing me who they are as a person.
Yeah, that makes sense too. You were really rattled in earlier episodes when Alex was buddying up to Mason. Like,
and
tell me how you feel. That really rattled you. And now it makes sense because you've been witness to a lot of behavior like that. And people are not honest about how they feel and their maneuverings on camera. More so, that stuff happens off camera.
Yeah. And he was like buddying all up to him and then knew the whole time. Yeah. And again, they didn't even give him the edit like that, which they should have, by the way. They should have given him the edit that was like, can you believe that this is happening? That he's like buddying up to him. They kind of did, but no one latched onto it because Madison was so easy to beat up on. Right. But like the men are just as monstery, you know what I mean? Of being catty and manipulative in that way. You know what I mean?
It's monstery, and I'm still not letting, I like it.
And Mason, I'm not letting slide from him being like, I love alien conspiracy theories. Yuck, yuck, yuck with Meg. And then to Madison, he was like, tell me about your like clitoris. You know what I mean?
That's true. He was
like, that's
so
what I will say.
creeper.
Like for what you accuse Madison of,
man.
For what you accuse Madison of, Mason did the exact same thing, did he not?
I would like to hear them ask her that specific question on the reunion. Like your version of who Mason was, and now that you're together, once you saw him with Madison and the way that he was so sexual.
They were like sexting in the pods, which I was
pretty much. But like
they were like I'm like, I love to do this, I love to do that. I mean, but they're like, there's probably so much of that we don't see. Do you know what I mean? That like they're like, what do you like to do in the bed? And like blah blah. You know what I mean? God, I mean, he was like horny for her. She was like, I'm like in a short skirt. And he was like, I have a boner. You know what I mean? Like, of course, that's what they're going to do. They're like caged animals in there, by the way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're like, I haven't like seen a woman in like 75 days.
Can you imagine the stuff they have to edit out? Yowzers. Yes.
And like, think of all the like, you know, remember when Sam was watching with me, he was like, why do they have these like weird like headphones on? It's like, they have like silent raves. Like, don't even ask. Like, we don't even clock it anymore. We're like, yeah, obviously they're having a silent rave date. And he was like, what? And I was like, I don't know. I was like,
I mean, it is fascinating, like the kind of stuff that they talk about in the pods, because you'll have people like that, like Madison and Mason, and talking about like nipple rings. But then you have other couples who don't even talk about political ideology, finances. No, we'll get to there.
Anything,
but
literally
you know
anything.
What I mean? It's like, you got that.
Literally anything at all. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Again,
Sarah,
all this to say, again, like couldn't be more ready for the reunion. Like I don't even want to see the weddings. I just want to go right to the reunion and just have them fight each other.
Yeah.
And it's good. We're going to get some really good reunion talk.
I feel like we're going to see a lot of Zoolander looks. I'm just bracing for impact.
Oh, it's like, you know how like right now on Potomac, it's like breasts on display, where it's like all of their breasts are like truly at their throats, and I'm watching every frame of it. That's what we're about to see. It's going to be like ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Oscars, like worse. It's going to be the Met Gala, like times a million. And it's going to be like aliens have touched down on Earth.
I got to be honest, that's the ticket I want.
I pray for that. I want that.
All right. Well, we have to address, because you were texting me about it too, because you were fired up. When Sarah's sister, Lisa, and her partner, Kelsey met with Ben. You know, we're constantly upset by Ben. We feel like he is a totally fake persona for the show. He clearly wants to be a celebrity. I'm not buying that he's super religious. If he is religious, it's clearly from a church that does not agree with the same values that she has, but somehow they're trying to make it work. It makes no sense to me.
Like very real and like a real thing that you have to work through in a relationship, by the way. Like, I looked at his like Instagram, because of course, as soon as once they were like together, I was like, okay, let me go look at their Instagrams. And all the comments on his Instagram are like, don't let her like change your faith, and like, don't let her blah, blah. And I was like, she's not doing that at all, in my opinion. She's like, I need to be like in a place where I can feel that this is like accepting of like my people.
Of my value system.
In my value system.
Yeah,
like, I need to be aligned with that to go to this church. And he's like, she never says like, you can't be religious. Like, I don't know.
Not at all.
People were like being crazy on Instagram. Please, why did I go with the fucking comments on Instagram? Is the real question
why
that
were
we
you
should be
looking at
asking
that? Yeah.
ourselves. Why was I doing that is the real question. But
Did he ever post like a headshot from like when he went out to Hollywood a couple years ago?
no, there's a lot of like him like in a baseball uniform and he looks great. So, he looks really hot.
like little league or like high school?
No, like college, I think.
Okay.
Like he looks good. No.
Like, is he somebody who's on like a,
or he's on like a
kickball league?
No. I think it was like a semi-professional or like a professional, but not like not MLB, but like lower version.
Okay.
Know
Like minor league team?
Minor league, is that what that is? Like, what do I know? But you know what I'm saying? Like a local team.
You're like subpar team. Is he
it
one
looked
of
a horrible team? But like, no,
he's
like,
probably on a
but it looked
league.
legitimate. It was like legitimate. Like that was his job. Do you know what I mean? Like it looked real.
Okay.
And he looked good. I'll say that.
I don't know about that.
But no, the sister and the sister's partner or the wife or the girlfriend, I was living for them in every way possible. And they were like, even on her wedding
the partner
day,
was nicer. The Kelsey was a bit nicer. Leslie was just, or Lisa, her sister Lisa was just like, I'm not up for this shit. Like, this is stupid.
Well, and you know what I really liked was like, I'm going to butcher this and I'm sorry. But at one point it was like, oh, something about how they're accepting of all people. And the sister was like, actually, the word accepting, I don't like because like, it's not for you to accept or to like deny me. Like I'm a person and I'm here and like I exist in the world and that's a fact. Bye. You know what I mean? And I was like, period. Loved that correction. And I like that they were like, are you okay with? And even the sisters, the partner was like, I don't know about this. Remember, she right to his face. She was like, I don't know. I'm like nervous. And she said at her wedding day, remember, she was like, you guys are my building block of like what, like Sarah, I was like getting choked up when Sarah was saying like, I want you guys to be okay with this because like, you guys are my building blocks of like my whole life. Like I look up to you in so many ways. And like, if you can't mesh with him, like this won't work. You know what I mean? I was like, that was so touching to me. That was like the one part where it's like when they get really sentimental, that really was like beautiful. Cause she was like, I need you guys to be okay with this. And like, if you're not, I need to know because I can't do this then. And they kept saying, remember they said to her, they were like, you need to be okay with it for you. Like, don't worry about everyone else. Like,
that's
you
right.
need to be okay
they were
with
right
it. Like,
to say
will
that.
be whatever it is, but like, that's on you to be. I like loved them.
Yeah, I like that more because
them being like,
at some
this
point,
fucking loser over here. She was like, they were like, yeah, but it's not on us. It's on you. Like, you need to figure this out for yourself.
I do feel like, God bless, but there is a part of Sarah where I'm like, I do think at this point in your life, you're too reliant on other people's acceptance, lack of a better term, to a relationship. And I hope from this, she gets to a point where she feels like that's less important. And kudos to her sister and her partner for saying that.
No, they were like truly like, what's even an analogy? Like a lighthouse in the storm. Do you know what I mean? Like they were like really laying down facts and I was like, oh shit, like that was good.
But I mean, when you come down to it, they lack social and philosophical compatibility. They just do.
And like, can't he just like go to church on Sunday by himself and come home?
Yeah, why do
you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like can't he just, if he wants to go do that, like just do it. That doesn't mean she has to go.
That's a great point. Yeah. I know couples like that. Or
that are different religions that are truly different religions. Yeah. Like, and they have been married for years and years and years, you know? So.
Yeah. But maybe he goes to a church where it's expected like the whole family has to come together.
Yeah, sure.
But then if that were the case and that's something that she's not comfortable with, how do we even get this far? Like, why did it last this long?
Exactly. Well, because they're probably like begging like rabbits. You can just tell.
You think so?
Oh, I think they are. Yeah.
Okay. Well, God bless.
I think that's what it is. But then she was like, oh shit, hold on. Am I actually going to do? But then, I don't know. Is she going to say yes? She's going to say yes now. And then I think she's going to be like, at the reunion, they're not together.
I thought you thought that maybe she'd be married to somebody else at the reunion.
I think she's going to be engaged to someone else at the reunion.
Yeah, I still think that too. In a relationship, like she's out, you know.
Like I found my one. Like she's going to say, like they all say when they go up there. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's a class act. So she'll say, listen,
I love
it was
her.
painful, but you know what? I ended up with the person I'm supposed to be, and I'm grateful for Ben's time.
And I like him, and she'll like try to smooth it over with it. Like she'll like tell the fans to like simmer down. Like she'll be like, he's a great person. Like it just wasn't for me, blah, blah, blah. Like we are great friends. Like she's going to do like she's like, I'm obsessed with her.
Well, do you think Lauren's going to do the same for Dave? Is she going to be like, guys, be nice to Dave? Or is she going to be like, no, let him on fire?
No, because she's a nice person.
She's a people pleaser too.
Yeah. And not only that, but she's just like she like doesn't want like bad for it. Well, meanwhile, he looks bad enough on the show. She's like, yeah, he does. We're good. Like she's like, we're good. He's like hated by America for very valid, good reason.
Yeah. Did you know that Fast Growing Trees is the biggest online nursery in the US with thousands of different plants and over 2 million happy customers? They have all the plants your yard needs, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and so much more. Whatever plants you're interested in, Fast Growing Trees has you covered. You can find the perfect fit for your climate and space. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to get your dream yard. You order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days, without ever leaving home. Their Alive and Thrive guarantee ensures your plants arrive happy and healthy. And plus, you get support from trained plant experts on call to help you plan your own landscape, choose the right plants, and learn how to care for them. For example, I knew that I was in the growing zone 10 and I picked out the most perfect lemon tree. It's so cute. It makes me so happy every time I walk outside. This spring, they have the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And listeners to this show get 15% off their first purchase when using the code Kate Casey at checkout. That's an additional 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code Kate Casey at checkout. Fastgrowingtrees.com, code Kate Casey. Now's the perfect time to plant. Use Kate Casey to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. You know that feeling when your kids seem to ask you for a new snack every 3 minutes, but you're sick of giving them junk-filled options? This is why I love Thrive Market, my go-to online grocery store for getting all of my healthy essentials delivered, and I don't even have to leave my couch. And I don't know about you, but I want to be able to pronounce the ingredients on my kids' snack labels. There are over 10,000 food additives allowed in the US, and it's hard to know what's actually safe to eat. Again, another reason why I love Thrive Market. It's the no-junk online grocery store that bans over 1,000 harmful ingredients. So like imagine this. My kids love Doritos. Now I can get them Late July Garden Ranch tortilla chips, and it is a dream. And guess what? I'm just tipping the iceberg here. There is so much more. With their online filters, it's going to make it simple to shop by the needs of everyone in your family. And trust me, I get it. We all have things that we love to eat. So get ready to make the switch. Go to thrivemarket.com/Kate Casey for 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/Kate Casey, thrivemarket.com/Kate Casey. They have one last date, all those couples. So Taylor and Daniel, they went skating and had dinner at Center Ice. It was a very bachelor-like moment. I thought the scene was set up stupid, but I love that they are in love with each other, and I do believe it'll go the distance. And then you have Monica
Taylor
and Joey,
and
who you can't stand. They went to a conservatory. Sarah and Ben
I like
went
them.
glamping.
The Looney Tunes couple, I like.
You
I
do?
Want them to go the distance.
Ugh,
You
stand
hate them. I like them.
Okay. And then Virginia and Devin went on a horse-drawn carriage. But then later that night, they're laying in bed. And walk me through those scenes. If you're filming that, like, you're like, hey, can you just like hop into bed with your PJs on and no makeup and just like pretend we're not here? How does that go?
That's exactly how it goes.
Nightcap talk?
Yeah.
And do they say to Virginia, hey, if you can, just bring up like questions relating to fertility and...
Or like, what are the things that you still have on your mind that you need to talk to him about? Or what have you guys been talking about when we're not here? So like, let's recreate that conversation. It's like also something I feel like we say a lot.
Or do you think that they were like, you guys literally talk about nothing. We have to have something.
P.S. Like, we can't talk about just your prenup for like 75 times. Give me a fucking break with that shit, by the way.
Yeah.
As I've said like many times. I really got fired up. Remember when I was like, I'm not going to be like mean in this episode. And then I was like, I'm really trying to be better. And then I screamed at you for like 15 minutes.
Well, they're laying in bed and she's basically getting out of him.
And then she's like, hi, like, do you care about politics? And he's like, no. And then she's like, okay. And then she's like, well, like, I'm like politically like liberal. And he like all but says, everyone else in my family is conservative. And she's like,
yeah, I mean, you
okay.
could tell he's conservative.
But she's like, oh, right. Well, that's like not good. Like, what are we going to do with that? And he's like, I honestly don't know. And she's like, well, neither do it. Like, it was so awkward.
It was so awkward. And by the way, I don't think the guy ever is going to vote. Hasn't in the past, won't moving forward. So that's another reason I'm like,
oh,
how
if you're
did
not
you
voting
two
now,
even
what,
like each other at all?
What is it going to take? What's it going to take for? What's it going to? If you're not voting now, what's it going to take? So I truly don't know. So like, it honestly isn't that the problem should be like, oh, I don't vote.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
but if you look at it, like take an outside perspective, the issue of whether or not you are politically active, just to the point of like voting, feelings on reproductive rights, feelings about like your political party and how you would vote if you were to vote. Like the fact that none of those things were even brought up till the moment before. Is
when
like
she's like, if I get
me.
pregnant, are you going to force me to have this child? Is basically the conversation they have at one point. And he's like, I think the man should like have some input. And she's like, and it's still my body and I'm going to do what I want. Like but she had to like talk him out of that hole of like him trying to say like, I should be able to tell you if you can have a kid or not.
But I feel like none of the things that he said were a shock to me. I feel like he did, although he didn't voice it. I mean, there are clues, there are context clues in the beginning. So did she feel like she knew some of those answers and avoided it? Or just what? Like, did she just wait till the end of the line? Like, I don't know. It's just confusing to me when a couple would not want to talk about those hard issues.
Also, wouldn't you have talked about that all in the pods?
That's what I'm saying.
But they did. That's the thing. They were in La La Land. They didn't talk in the pods. Virginia was like, I have like so many dresses that are barely are dresses that you're going to see later.
That's true.
Like, okay. And he's like, okay, yeah. And he's like, I play basketball. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, I would love to know. I would love to talk to an editor about what they really talked about. That couple in particular, what they talked about in the pods.
Yeah. Also,
I like soup. Do you like soup?
Yeah, no, like literally. Actually, that's what they talked about. Also, my girl Brittany, whenever she came back and they were like talking, and she was like, "Oh, you're going to be with your girl like you love, Virginia, and you were like great." And then she goes, "Would have loved for you to be a little bit more supportive whenever I came out to you."
I know.
I was like, get him. I was like, get him. But like, what's he going to? Yeah, what are you going to do?
Context clues. There you go.
Sure. But she said what we said. Like she said like exactly what I said to you on this podcast. And I was like, yep, get her.
Well, I just feel like those two I've been kind of bored by them. And it's because I realize they don't really talk about anything of substance.
There's
nothing there.
No.
So Taylor and Daniel are the couple that from the beginning, remember she thought that he was stalking her, but they seem to be in love, no?
No, they're seeming like the ones, they're the front runners of like, they're going to get married, right?
I think
to
so.
Me,
yeah.
When they did that, how dare they do a Christmas card photo shoot? Like, of course, like how dare the producers do this to us? Whenever they were like in that green dress that she wore, again, that is so
beautiful.
Ugly. Oh my God, I think it's hideous.
You do?
The bottom of it is so ugly. The weird shoulder parts are so ugly. Like I understand like what they wanted the dress to be, but it's just a really bad version of that dress.
You know what? I think you're right.
And it's green velvet. It's green.
Well, now that I think about it, if you were to have the curtains raised and you have this long runway, is that what you want to wear as you approach?
But she's a freak. So she's like, I'm going to be dressed like a Christmas tree. Wink. Like, and he's like fucking jizzing over that. Like he
what
like
if she had dressed up in a taco costume?
I know. Can you imagine? Like the one, it's like the taco meat is in the front and like the arms are out of the
Wait, what happened to you? Are you alive?
Oh God, can you imagine if he
boat?
came out in a taco?
I'm serious. What would you be surprised? Wait, she comes out as a taco and he comes out as like a leprechaun or like one of the elves, the Christmas elves.
Yeah.
You know they're going to be the couple that dress their kids up in like themes. Every Christmas card's going to have a different theme.
If I'm like not even surprised if she'll be like pregnant at the reunion. Like she'll be
I kind of hope for it actually.
She's like, I'm 6 months pregnant. Like,
Well, I don't think so because I just saw a video that they posted. It was like Sarah, Lauren, Taylor. Maybe it's just the three amigos. And they were at a bar and they looked at me drinking. And I did notice that none of them had rings on. So maybe they have to.
They probably can't for the videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're like, shit, put it in your pocket.
And we're like 6, so we are looking at their hands. Yeah. This group to me is similar to the Dallas group where I'm like, I could watch a show.
Yeah,
of like
it's a friend show. They fell in love with each other. That's
I like
the
them.
real love story.
When they did their like the group, when we were at that ski bar again with Madison had the pink hair, like that to me was like all very like I'm like I could watch this as a show.
I could watch that as a show too. What their lives out, and some of you are like, "Are you kidding me?" But no, I'm telling you, because to your point, we would know more about the conversations that are going off screen. I've never bought from the beginning that they're a group of people that are that saccharine. There's got to be some like shady shit going on the side. Like there's got to be a sociopath in the group. Yeah. And I would love to get to the bottom of that.
Can we do some like Beyond the Pods or something where it's like just the reality show of them living in Minneapolis after that? I said this about the Dallas. Like the Dallas girls could have been like Real Girlfriends of Dallas or whatever. Like, or like podding together. I don't know. I'm thinking like something.
In pod
like,
we trust.
Love is Seen or something like that where it's like all of them together. Like like Love Sees or like something where it's just like them continuing the story of them. Like that would be fun. Like if we had to deal with like, remember last year our girl had the guy that had like the lesbian mom with the kids and all that. Like if we watched that crumble on TV, that would have been great.
Yeah, and I want the guy that lives in the building that Dave can't stand, who made the picture of himself.
Come on that show. Yes.
Yeah, come on that show too. I would like him on that show.
He can be a guest. He can be like at a party that we throw for this new show, Love is Seen. And is like, but like that, see, like the point I want to watch is them at the ski bar. Mm-hmm. When Meg and Mason walk in hand. Like that's where I'm tuning in and my antenna's up, ready to go. Like
Lauren and Taylor are at the bar and this girl with like a super plastic face walks up to them and I'm like, oh, you are almost engaged to Dave? Yeah. Well, I can tell you a couple
Guess
stories.
what?
And it's about like the Botox bar.
Yes.
And he oversold it and now she's a tape on her face.
That's a show. That is a show. Oh, like what's his name? Ben? That girl could come, the girl that I wanted like Jerry Springer into the reunion that's like, I try to be like, she could show up at someone's house and like knock on their door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Remember me, Ben? Remember me?
And then Netflix just has to shell out some money to them and then they're good. They'll do it. They'll all do it.
Yeah. Wait.
And then it gets me invested in the show because like,
then people want to go back and watch
them.
It.
I'm like watching
go watch
them
the original.
continuing their story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'd still be watching like Real Girlfriends of Dallas. Love is Seen Cole in Dallas with like our girls. You know what I mean? With like the ballerina.
Yeah.
And like the girl with Alexa. Remember Alexa, the girl?
Didn't they get married, the ballerina and the guy that was weird?
Yeah.
Are they still together?
But like remember them and like that group? Like I would still be watching them and like the husbands being like kind of like Real Houses of New Jersey where it's like the husbands and the wives and then they all go on like trips. Like that's, come on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I think we've saved the day for Netflix. That's a whole new show.
Chris Colin or whatever your name is, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. And they do, I tend to see, I do see that on TikTok and such, they are all hanging out. So this story does continue for sure.
Yeah. And I like that. And it doesn't have to be like major drama either. But like the few drama things that happen, yes.
Okay, good. All right. So Lauren and Dave break up. Or, you know what? He never really said it's over. So for all we know, Lauren still thinks they're in a relationship and she's waiting at the apartment, you know? He's probably at Nolo's banging somebody else in the bathroom.
Yeah, Nolo's, give me a break. Whenever he went up to her, whenever they were at the thing, whenever they were at the ski bar, and he like gave her that weird side hug and was like, hi, can I say hi to you? And it's like, no, go the fuck away. Like
loser. Yeah.
Go like Botox someone.
Wait, is his sister on the show? Pod Scene in Minneapolis?
She fucking better be, is all I have to say. Love is Seen.
Love is Seen. Yeah, I need her on the show for sure. And maybe like the dad that golfs all the time, he could just like walk through a scene too. This is why I could never be a therapist, because I need to see pictures of everybody.
Yeah, sure.
I need
and
to see what the dad
the whole
looks
point
like.
is that you don't. Yeah.
Okay, so we have that Taylor and Daniel probably going to get married. And then we have Sarah and Ben still trying to figure out whether or not this is going to stay the course.
I know. I wonder what's going to happen.
Has anybody researched his church? Because I bet they have like, it strikes me as like they're like cool church. So maybe they have like social media videos. Has anybody spotted her in the background at a service?
No, she probably can't go.
Oh, yeah.
Because like they're not supposed to like see each other in public whenever they're like,
oh,
you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like keep it on the DL or whatever. So it's like, yeah.
So it's pointless for me to watch videos of like Christmas service at his church from like this last year.
Please don't.
Okay. And then we have Devin and Virginia, the boring couple. Are they going to get married?
Did he like sign the prenup? Remember, he was like, I need my mom to look at this. I was like, you're a grown man. It's like, you are a grown man.
Yeah.
He's like, I need a lawyer or my mom to look at this. I was like, you are a child.
Well, it's like he's just a basketball coach.
I don't know.
You know, he probably drives around in like a hatchback and it's got one of those mesh bags filled with like 20 basketballs. And then the car is filled with like,
and it's like
fast food bags.
Those Gatorade bottles that you like, that your son probably like chugs on like the sideline. You know what I mean?
But one's filled with urine because he didn't have enough time between games.
Disgusting.
Does he have something hanging from the rear view? Does he have like tassel from his high school? Because those were his glory years.
Because it was 4 years ago. Yeah. Also because he's like 23.
Those were the best years of his life. He still brings it. He's got his yearbook in the car. So if a girl goes on a date, he's like, let me just show you class of, 2023 or wherever it was.
Okay. Remember this season where it was like the girl and the guy had known each other beforehand. And then like,
oh yeah,
she was
shattering.
Like, he knew me already. Like he knew me already and blah, blah. And it was like all that drama. And then the girl was like with that like young Sheldon looking man that was like 22 and like didn't know anything. And this family was like, you're 22. Like, why are you getting married to this like woman?
Yes.
Like, are they together? We might need to do.
I know.
Okay. Kate.
Yes.
After the reunion, obviously we have to do the reunion. But then when you're ready, when you're like thinking like, you always text me like, what's an episode we could do? This is the answer right now is like us doing like go back from season 1 and like look up everyone's Instagram live.
You know what we're gonna
podcast
do? We're gonna
just like see if they're together and us like just talk about their Instagrams.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna actually rope in the listeners right now. So if you could write us and let us know which season you will work on, and if you could gather the data,
we need everyone to help.
We will give you a very important shout out in the episode. So if you could write us and say, I got season 2, I got, and just give us an update on these couples and what they're doing now. That would be helpful. 8. So this was season 8. So we have 7 seasons of couples. We just need you to. So who volunteers as tribute, please reach out to us.
Yeah. And like, I'll do season 1.
You'll do season 1?
Well, we know who are some of them. Like, remember Jessica Messica? She was like, remember she was at the reunion last year and was like, I have a kid now with like some random guy. Yeah. Like, see, she's good. She's like, we got check. But then where's that like fitness trainer that had a twin bed that she was like supposed to get married to?
Yeah, that's the stuff I need to know.
Where was he? Where is he?
Yeah, where is he?
I know exactly where he is, but like, where is he?
Now, Shayna from the Chicago season, she was the squinter.
Oh, the squinter. Oh my God.
I love her.
Felt like a decade ago. Oh my God.
She got married to this gorgeous Greek guy and they had a baby named Yorgos. And she found out she had cancer when she was pregnant.
No.
And they were kind of encouraging her to not move forward with a pregnancy. And she did. And she's a beautiful baby boy. And they're so happy. And I remember I interviewed her and he joined in the interview. And sometimes, you'd be like really? Like, why is this guy participating? No, he was hilarious and cool. Like if they had a Real Housewives of Chicago, she should be on it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, she's great. Super happy. Super happy. But
right,
remember the other guy that we all thought was on cocaine? Do you remember that guy?
Yes, Shane.
Shane. What happened to Shane? Who's he dating?
Where's he? Where's Shane?
I'm going to go with, I bet you he grew out his hair and he flat irons it.
Oh, God.
And remember the couple, like the Zoolander couple? They pop up on my feed sometimes. Now, they just posted that they're like, well, we've decided we're moving to DC. And I'm like, I thought you already lived there.
Who knows?
It's very confusing. Okay, good.
Anyway, okay, we have our homework.
All right, we have our homework. Okay, tell everybody, what's the episode this week?
We're doing a full Oscars recap. It's the
good.
Second annual, third annual ? Oscars extravagant or Oscars spectacular. And we're talking about everything: performances, winners, losers, speeches, looks, everything.
Yeah, I like it when people dissect the speeches for sure. And we should note that you had a very special anniversary that just popped up, and not to Hassan.
2 years. Well, that too. It was actually 2 days in a row. It was my anniversary of our first date was the February 28th, and then March 1st is the second anniversary of Fixing Famous People.
How many episodes to date?
Over 100 now. I don't know.
And then
110 almost. Yeah.
And you guys have a whole bonus episode situation. Tell them about that.
Everything on our Patreon. We do fixing normal people advice episodes where people write in with advice and we give them advice. We do fixing dead people where my friend Erin Bagwell, who's a medium, contacts dead celebrities like Marilyn Monroe, like Brittany Murphy just came out recently, like Whitney Houston, Anna Nicole Smith, Princess Diana, a lot of those.
She needs to do Gene Hackman.
She needs 6 months. He has to learn how to come to her.
Oh, okay.
You can't do it right away. They have to they're like, he's like up to stuff there and like has like stuff he has to do before he can like come to us.
Okay.
But yes. And we have all kinds of really fun bonus stuff on the Patreon. Peruse it. I'm going to put a bunch of this stuff actually free soon. So
people can get a taste.
Yeah, I'm going to release some older stuff onto like the free area so that people can kind of get a taste of what's going on there. So yeah.
I like that. And then where can people follow you?
At the Chris DeRosa and at Fixing Famous People.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
The amazing Kate Casey.
I want to thank my great guest, Chris DeRosa, and remind you to click subscribe. Please leave a 5-star review. Join the Facebook group, Reality Life with Kate Casey. I've got bonus episodes that you can get by going to Patreon, patreon.com/Kate Casey. The last one I just did is about behind the scenes of the Oscars. You can also get my What to Watch list at katecasey.substack.com and follow me on social media. Check me out on Instagram at @KateCaseyCA, TikTok, it's Kate Casey, Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky at Kate Casey. Check back tomorrow for a bonkers true crime story.
Imagine this. You help your little brother land a great job abroad. But when he arrives, the job doesn't exist. Instead, he's trapped in a heavily guarded compound, forced to sit at a computer and scam innocent victims, all while armed guards stand by with shoot-to-kill orders. Scam Factory, the explosive new true crime podcast from Wondery, exposes a multi-billion-dollar criminal empire operating in plain sight. Told through one family's harrowing account of sleepless nights, desperate phone calls, and dangerous rescue attempts, Scam Factory reveals a brutal truth. The only way out is to scam their way out. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.